Hi guys, it's Megan from International Admissions at the University of Findlay.
Hi, and I'm Tejas. I'm from India, and I'm doing my MBA here. I'm about to finish. I'm about to graduate.
Yeah, he's leaving us, so I had to recruit him to help me with this hangout. So, as I'm looking to see if there's any viewers, and as I see you pop on, I'll try to invite you to the call. This is maybe like my third time doing a Google Hangout, so if it takes me a couple of minutes to add you, I apologize. Just kind of bear with me. And then just so you know, if you are just viewing it on our Google Plus page, this will be posted on our Facebook. I'll post it in the Indian Facebook community. It'll be published on YouTube, and then we will likely send out an email with a link to this as well. So if you are missing it or you're tuning in late, don't worry. This will be in a lot of places. So basically, this specific Hangout is specific for students from India just because obviously I have my Indian student assistant here that's going to help me answer some lovely questions. And yeah, you're a large group of students, so I think we can more specifically address specific questions for you. So yeah, I guess we'll get started. So the first thing I did want to mention is that some of you, and we really apologize for this, may have received the Google Hangout email and the congratulations you're accepted in error. And we apologize for that. That was a glitch in our system. But if you do have questions regarding the status of your application, please contact our office. Let me see if I can pull up on the screen. I don't know if I don't think I have it. The phone number is 419-434-4558. You will probably talk to this lovely gentleman right here who probably wants to kill me. But anyways, we'll help you with your status. We'll let you know what you need still for fall. Or maybe you have been accepted, but you haven't received your I-20. Maybe you didn't receive the eShip email. But anyways, there was a little bit of a glitch in the system, so we really apologize for that. But if for some reason you haven't been accepted yet and that was sent to you, this is an opportunity for you. We can walk you through the deferment process if you're not ready to come for fall and you would like to come for spring. We'd be happy to help you with that as well. So by this time, you should be receiving the pre-arrival communication plan. This is a set of emails. Hopefully it's going to your personal email. Possibly if you're working through an agent, it may be going to your agent. It also might be going to your junk mail. So if you haven't got these emails, check your junk mail because they are really important because it's going to give you just a checklist of things to remember to bring. It's going to give you information for airport pickup, recommended airports, information about our international welcome houses, which are basically temporary accommodations when you first arrive here on campus. As well as orientation information, what to expect, things like this, and then also social networking sites you can get connected with, things like this. So make sure that you're getting those. If you're not getting those, this is going to basically give you a brief overview of some of those things. Okay, so the first email that you're probably getting is confirm your arrival to UF. So it is important for us to know that you are coming to the University of Findlay. So you will want to, if you're getting those emails, it's just simply you click a link, you fill out the information, it gets sent to us, and I will follow up with you and say, hey, have you gotten your visa? Have you got your flight ticket? Things like this. If for some reason you're not getting that email, then you're going to need to send me an email and let me know that. So let me see if I can pull up my email for you. Most of you probably have it at this point because I have been in contact with many of you, but just let me share my screen for a brief moment if I can. Let's see here, share screen, and all right. I hope you're seeing my screen, right? So send me an email, let me know you're coming. I can follow up with you that way. The next email you're probably getting is information for checklist for arrival. So for example, if you haven't applied for your visa, which in India I'm assuming you've probably applied for it by now, If you haven't, you really need to do that because those appointment dates are filling up really, really quick. But I'm assuming most of you have applied if you're accepted already and know you're coming and have your visa. If you need help with that, call our office. We have many students that have been through the process, and they would be willing to help you with that, I'm sure. Let me stop my screen. Oh, there we go. Screen share stopped. We already said confirm our attendance. Like us on Facebook. We have a University of Findlay International Admissions Facebook page. There's a University of Findlay page, but there's one more specific for international students. And specifically, if you're from India, there is an Indian community Facebook group. If you have specific questions about that, email me. I'll get you connected. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Twitter's #UFindlay. Instagram's just UFindlay. And then, let's see. Send me your travel information. So your flight ticket. Let me know when you're coming. The airport that we recommend is the Toledo Express Airport. It's about 45 minutes from Findlay. Any other airport you're coming to is going to be at least an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Findlay, so I would not recommend that. I would recommend coming to Toledo, spend the extra $200, $100 for a ticket, because if you're coming to any of the other airports, it's going to cost you over $200 to get a taxi. So it's just best if you book your ticket from the beginning to Toledo, unless you know somebody that's picking you up in Detroit or Columbus, one of those two places. And pack your original transcripts. So if you are coming for an undergraduate program or a graduate program, we require you to show proof of your original degree and your original transcripts. Any other way that I can explain that better?
Yeah, but those who, some of the students who does not have the final degree, and if they would have at least a provisional degree, make sure you bring them with you, and don't forget at home.
Yeah, because this will cause you problems. They require you, university requires you to show those before you actually get enrolled in your classes. So you need to make sure you have those, otherwise.
Yeah, and make sure that you keep it handy. You're not supposed to leave it in the bag.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good recommendation. If you can take that like in your backpack, if you're bringing a backpack, carry those with you. Don't put that in your suitcase, in your luggage. Unfortunately, some students do have luggage that gets lost. It gets here, but we want to make sure you don't have any problems during orientation. On the checklist is also reserving airport transportation, which I'll talk about that in a minute. And then international welcome houses. So our international welcome houses are essentially temporary accommodations for students once they get to campus. So we don't require you to set up on-campus housing. We do have those options, but we have temporary houses for women and men. And then once you get here, we have graduate assistants that live in those houses. It can help you in setting up either on-campus accommodations, off-campus accommodations, things like this. And we're going to talk more about on-campus and off-campus housing a little bit, and he'll be able to give some really good advice. And I always just say, keep calm, smile, everything's going to be fine. I would recommend one other thing, and I can send me an email if you have questions about this. I would recommend, if you know you're coming, if you would like to wire transfer some type of money towards your account, you can wire transfer money ahead of time in any amount, and we can send you a receipt for that. And that would be a really good thing for you at the port of entry when you're coming in. I think more students have been doing that, and I think that that's a good thing for you to show that you are a serious student and your intention is to study here, because I know that they have tightened up a lot of things at the port of entry. Don't let that scare you. I'm just giving you friendly advice that's going to help you ahead of time. I don't know if you have any recommendations for that.
And for that, what I would, I've seen some of the students, they have carried, they carry a different type of checks and a demand draft. I would just recommend to just carry a check, a personal check, which directly you can, in case like if you don't like to do the wire transfer, you can just carry the personal check. Or sometime, the best thing for you guys to do is like it's always to do a wire transfer, because in that case, you don't have, first of all, you don't have to pay any fees for that, and the other thing is when you guys will come here, if some of them who's carrying a check or anything, if it gets lost, then you need to go through the so many procedures again and again. That's what
Yeah,
I.
that's good. Awesome. So the thing that I mentioned we were going to talk about is airport shuttle service. So our office offers airport shuttle service from the Toledo Express Airport. And Toledo is Toledo Express Airport on August 11th, August 12th, and August 13th. So if you're coming on the 11th, 12th, and 13th, any time during those dates, we will pick you up from the Toledo Airport. It is $50. We will bill it to your student account, so you don't need cash on hand. But if you were to take a taxi from Toledo to Findlay, it's going to cost you $100 at least. So $50 is really good. You can guarantee someone's there. We're bringing you directly to campus anytime. If your flight's delayed, we'll be there. If it's there the next day, we'll be there, et cetera, et cetera. To reserve that pickup, I need you to send me your flight itinerary. So if you have booked your flight to Toledo, send me an email with your name, your attached flight ticket, and I will confirm you on our pickups for one of those dates. Now, I will mention, if you reserve a pickup and then you back out and you don't tell us, we will charge your account because we do have to travel all the way to Toledo to pick you up. So we do expect you to be there. If your flight's delayed or you miss a flight, it's totally not your fault. Don't worry about that. We understand that. So we'll work with you on that. If you are coming outside of that time of the 11th, 12th, or 13th, it is your responsibility on your own to get to campus. Some students come to the Detroit airport. Some students come into Columbus. I do not recommend coming into those airports. They're far from Findlay. It's going to cost you a lot of money unless you know somebody that's picking you up. Otherwise, go ahead.
And regarding that, those whom I've seen in past that some of the students they don't arrive either neither to Detroit or to Toledo, which is the closest airport from University of Findlay. Those who might arrive, like whether they have any relatives or friends or any friends or family anywhere, I would recommend that if you guys would come to Findlay, make sure you come at least 2 or 3 days before, because the moment you get here, those who's gonna get enrolled in IELP, they have to take a test, and if you're gonna travel by road here, you're gonna get really tired. So the best recommendation that at least come here 2 or 3 days before, so you would have proper rest, and when you go for the placement test, you would be able to do good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And I was going to address that as well. So that's good. That's helpful. I'm going to pull up, as I'd mentioned, if you're coming outside of the 11th, 12th, or 13th, there is an airport taxi cab service that I recommend. We use them. They're really great with our students. I'm going to share that. It's called Manta Cars, and the phone number is on the screen. From Toledo to Findlay, it's $100. From Detroit to Findlay, it's $190. And as I mentioned, it says down here, you must call and make a reservation with payment, so such as like a credit card. If you don't have a credit card, just talk with them. I think that they can work something out with you from what I've heard in the past. But you do need to make the reservation before you get to the U.S. And they will monitor your flight. If your flight's delayed, they'll be there. But just make sure if you make a reservation with them, make sure you keep that reservation with them or cancel it ahead of time if you make other plans. It is customary, I do like to mention this, to give a tip to the driver, just so you know, so you don't feel awkward when you come. So I think that's a good thing to kind of explain. So like I said, these services, if you're coming to Toledo, Detroit, if you're coming from Columbus, then that's going to be on your own. I mean, it's going to cost you well over $200. I can tell you that. I do know that for sure. So let me stop sharing the screen and come on back. All right, perfect. And as Tay just mentioned, orientation begins on August 14th. It's August 14th, August 15th, August 16th. It's a 3-day orientation. It's mandatory for all new students. Also, since we're talking about this, I will mention we are not accepting late arrivals. If you are not here and at orientation by August 14th, then you're going to have a problem. So orientation is absolutely mandatory. During this time, you're going to, if you have a conditional admission, meaning you don't have the required IELTS or TOEFL, if you need English, it's going to say on your I-20, the student does not meet the English requirement.
Actually, and even on your acceptance letter, and make sure you guys read that, because that's something really important.
Read the acceptance letter. Please, 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 please. It will definitely help you. But yeah, so if you have a conditional admission, that first day of orientation, you're going to take that placement exam. So as Tejas recommended, if you know that you're going to need to take that IELP placement exam, then you're probably going to want to arrive early on such, let's say the 11th, because that's 2 or 3 days before. Because you want to make sure you're rested and you're doing really well on that exam. Because if you do well, then you're going to place out of IELP, and you could place into either your undergraduate or graduate program. So give yourself the benefit, really, while you're here. Also, let's see, arrival to Findlay. Okay, so if you're coming on the 11th, 12th, or 13th and we're picking you up, we're going to bring you either directly to our office to check in, or we'll take you directly to the welcome houses, and we'll get you all settled, basically hold your hand and bring you with us. If you are coming outside of that time, you're going to want to know where you need to go. So let me pull up the address. So if you're coming, share the screen and then I'll chat some more. Hello, where are you? Okay, so if you are coming to the University of Findlay Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., this is the address you're going to want to report to. This is our office. And once you're here, we'll get you checked in, let us know you're here. We'll have a graduate assistant, get you checked into the welcome houses. We'll get you settled with all of your things. So this is where you want to go. If you are arriving after 5 p.m. or on the weekend, which here is Saturday or Sunday, our office will be closed. So you're going to need to report directly to the international welcome houses. If you need to know what those addresses are, you're going to need to email me, because there are several different houses. So send me an email, let me know. Otherwise, if you report to this address, there will be a list of addresses for the international welcome houses. And what you can do is, if you're coming by taxi, just let the taxi know that address, and literally they're like 1 block away around the corner, not even a minute driving. Yeah, so you shouldn't have any problem with that. Back to us again. But yeah, if you have any more questions about the welcome houses, let me know, and I'll get you hooked up. Back to orientation. Orientation begins early on the 14th. So if you're planning on arriving on the 14th, it's probably not a good idea, because orientation begins 8 a.m. on the 14th. And you're going to do it late, you're going to miss a lot, and no one's going to be happy with you. So just be on time. This is the most important thing that you can learn before getting here. Be on time, okay? Testing, advising, registration, immigration, setting up email accounts, register for parking, verifying original documents, settle your account with the business office, campus tour. You're going to do a community service project. You're going to also be able to participate in something called the Arch Ceremony, which is with domestic students and international students. It's actually one of the oldest traditions in all of the state of Ohio for colleges and universities. So you're going to get to be a part of that. And then on the Sunday, right before classes begin, there'll be a new student picnic. Lots of professors will be there. The president will be there. It's a great time for you to hang out, meet friends, meet domestic students, other international students, our staff, students that work in our office. It's for all of campus. It's awesome. You'll love it. I never miss it. I love it every year. And then anything else about orientation you want to mention?
Now, like, if you guys would, don't assume that, orientation is just a formality or anything, but if you guys would make it there, it's for your own good, so make sure you don't miss out that. That's something really important. You would know, is where is library, so after that, you don't need to come and you don't need to ask anybody there, where is this or where is this. That makes it a lot easier for you guys.
And another thing we do during orientation is on-campus employment. So if you're even thinking about working while you're in the US, you should know that international students are only allowed to work on campus. You're not allowed to work off campus unless you are in CPT or OPT. CPT you're only eligible for after 9 months of academic study, which does not include English. OPT is after you graduate. So for those first 9 months, you can work on campus. There's a session during orientation. If you're interested in on-campus employment, you really need to attend that because that's going to walk you through all of the processes for what you need to do to get yourself in the system so that employers on campus can see you, so you have better chances of getting a job. Okay, so the next question is probably going to be, what about IELP, which is the Intensive English Language Program, so English classes. So direct admission into your program requires specific English testing requirements. If you do not meet those, then you would have received conditional admission. Direct admission into MBA, environmental, education, TESOL, all require a 7.0 IELTS and a 79 TOEFL. The only exception to that rule is MBA. MBA will accept anyone that has every band score of 6.5 or higher. So there's a possibility that you could have a 6.5 if you have a 6.5 in every band, a 6.5 overall for MBA. While I think that's pretty rare, I think it's safer to go with the 7.0 overall. If you don't meet those requirements, then you're going to take that AccuPlacer English exam. Depending upon your level of placement, you'll be placed into the English program or you'll go directly into your program. I will add, it is a difficult exam, and there's not many students that test out of the IELP waiver exam. But there's a few, but
yeah. But for that, what I recommend is that you guys should do more and more practices. And if you check it on Google, like just look for the TOEFL software, and you might be able to find something. And with that, if you practice on that things like number of times, at least you would know what kind of the test you're gonna give it. And because most of them who I've seen, they don't come in, they don't practice, and after that, they get upset. So everything is in your hand, and make sure you prepare for it. And if you do really good in that one, you'll be able to clear it.
Yeah. I think if you do just a Google search of AccuPlacer English exam, which is ACCUPLACER English exam. I'm trying to think who it's given by. Is it by Princeton? I'm not really sure. Just do a Google search and you'll find it. It'll give you practice exam questions. To be honest, most students say it's actually easier than the TOEFL because I think the listening, you can replay it over and over again. So that gives you an idea of the formatting of the test. But just come in determined that you need to do well on it. And to give you an idea of placements before you take the exam, somebody that has, actually, you know what? I'll pull up and kind of explain the levels to you first of all, because I think that's important for you to understand it. Here we go. All right. So these are the 4 levels in our IELP. So the first is basic, beginner, then intermediate, advanced. Once you complete intermediate, you can go directly into your undergraduate studies. Once you complete advanced, you can go into your graduate studies. To give you an idea, students that have a 6 or 6.5 IELTS will most likely be placed into advanced. So that's essentially 1 semester of English. But I do mention, as you can see in this disclaimer below, 1 semester of IELP is $7,100, and that's in the fall. And I do want to mention, and I like to mention this ahead of time so you're not surprised, English is 16 weeks long. So it's 16-week classes. That's 1 semester. It's $7,100. You're in classes 5 days a week.
Monday through Friday,
yeah, Monday through Friday. I will tell you, I think it is helpful. It's going to prepare you for graduate writing, especially in advanced. And I'm actually gonna take this off the screen really quick because I'm gonna let you talk about your experience, if you don't mind.
Basically, where back in India, some of our writing skills and everything is a little bit different. Here it's different. Here people, I know one of my friends who he had not just put the quotation mark in one of the quote, and he got really bad grade, and one of them got failed in it. So you guys have to make sure that when you come here, you more the basically what you're gonna learn is the American academic English. So which is gonna, when you go for your graduate program, it's gonna help you with that. And so whatever you're gonna write it, because here in MBA you have to write so many
so many papers.
So that's what so that's what it's gonna help you for. And you make sure that you don't take it so easy when you guys come here. Give your best, because you guys gonna come here for study. I know that most of us, like even when I was here, I was taking so easily, but I think that if I would have pushed myself, then I could have been much more better. So make sure you guys also do the same thing, and come here, and just don't, like, when you guys will get the visa. I know everybody will be excited, because for us it's a big thing when we get a safe US visa. So just make sure that you have your mindset that you're gonna come here and you're gonna study and give it your best. Yeah.
Wow. But yes, what he mentioned is really important. Especially, I mean, in my experiences, well, first of all, I should say, I have been to India. I may have met some of you. I know a lot of you, some of you have that 7.0 IELTS, but I know a lot of you have that 6.5. And sometimes it's such a huge disappointment because you're hoping to get into that graduate program and you're just missing the mark slightly. I'm telling you, advanced will definitely help you. I have taken the MBA program here. I've graduated from the MBA program. Tejas is going to be graduating from the MBA program. I'm getting ready to complete the environmental program here. And I can tell you, these courses require a tremendous amount of writing. And it's going to teach you how to avoid plagiarism, which is huge. This is a huge issue, especially with domestic students, but really more importantly for international students, because your requirements abroad are completely different than what they are here. So advanced is going to help you to teach you how to avoid that, how to do an annotated bibliography, even just presentation skills. It's going to build your confidence. So really, don't be disappointed about advanced. I know it's $7,100. It's a couple $1,000s more than what your MBA classes would be, but I can tell you it's worth taking advanced and being successful in your MBA program and your environmental program than going into those programs and studying and then end up failing for even writing skills or plagiarism, or possibly even getting kicked out of the university for plagiarizing when you didn't know. So they're expecting you to go into the MBA program and environmental programs. I'm specifically talking about these programs because most of you are accepted into these programs. They're expecting you to go in with that writing knowledge. If you don't have it, then there's really no mercy. So if you don't have it, this is the time for you to get it.
Those who does not wish to spend $7,100 in IELTS, maybe they have a band like 6.5 or 6 or something, then they can always defer that semester for a spring and buy more time and go for a place like IELTS or TOEFL test back in India, and you guys would be able to, and just do your best. And if you score 7 or if you score 79 in TOEFL, then you guys will be able to come down. You can get a direct admit in that, so that can help you guys a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm always very honest with students, and I don't want to seem like I'm being super firm, but I'm telling you because I've had personal experiences. I've helped students like yourselves, so I know, and he knows because he's a student. So, and we've seen it a lot of times. Okay, so the other question usually, where will I live? We kind of covered that. For temporary accommodations, we do have international welcome houses. We also are, I personally know that I think the Indian Student Association is helping with setting up some accommodations. I'm just going to pop up his information on the screen if you don't mind. I believe that he's on the Indian Community Facebook page. Did I spell that name right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to pop it up there if I spelled it wrong. But you can give him a call, send him an email, and I'm sure he'll be happy to meet with you as well. So here's information for the Indian Student Association president: phone number, email, name, etc., etc., etc. Hopefully that will be somewhat helpful to you. feel free to reach out, let him know you're a current student coming. He may be able to set you up with accommodations before you get here. If you're a female and you're looking for another female, maybe there's a female that just graduated and there's a spot, you know, you can go straight into. So use that, take advantage of it. Let's see, back to me. Okay, so other options. If you don't have accommodations set up before you get here, don't worry. On-campus housing options are a possibility. I will inform you, on-campus, I love the idea of on-campus options. I think they're great for international students, especially if you want to practice English, understand American culture. This is the goal, is you're getting outside of your country, you want to understand the culture, the education system, you want to improve your English skills. It's really great, although I will tell you, it's $4,629 per semester. That does include food. However, I will also tell you that the meal plan is required, which means you'd be eating in the dining hall. There are some apartment-style housing which don't require you to have a meal plan. Those are on campus, and they range from $2,500 to about $3,500 per semester. So if you're doing on-campus options, you can say it might cost you anywhere between $5,000 to $9,000 a year for housing. I would say that most international students would recommend off-campus housing options. We do have a list in international admissions of some apartments that are available for rent. Current students are a great source of information. Our graduate assistants are a great source of information. And apartments are going to vary in price, but to give you an idea, I think if you estimate about $400 a month for your rent, depending on the option you choose, this is well enough to what you need. I mean, some students are only spending $300 on rent, $350, $200, $250.
But you know, I would recommend nearly 350 and 400 because in that case you get in that thing, you know, you get your own privacy. You would have your own room, and which is somehow better. But it all depends on your, you know, what do you guys prefer and everything. But I prefer to have a privacy. So I think that gives you a little bit of your own time.
And I think most off-campus housing options are within walking distance of campus. If it's a little bit further than walking distance, you can always grab a bike.
Yeah, I would recommend, like, you know, most of the students who lives off campus, they live very close by to campus, so like they just have to work a maximum of 5 to 7 minutes, not more than that. So,
yeah. And if you want to get a bike, you can get a bike. They actually have, guess what kind of promote the bike rental program. Yeah. There is actually a bike rental program on campus. They open that up in the fall. So there's a professor on campus that will rent out bikes for you for the whole entire semester to use, and then you just turn it in at the end of the semester. And as long as you don't lose it or it doesn't get lost or anything like that, or it doesn't get stolen, I should say, then you're good to go. So there's lots of options for getting around. Yeah, the other thing, I guess a common question is, what if I don't have a car? So that was my recommendation. Bike is really great. Also, we have a weekly shuttle service that will take you to the grocery, the mall, walking distance from the bank, things like this. And that runs on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And during orientation, we show you where that picks you up and drops you off. So that should be helpful. And then other things for students on campus. There's a free health clinic on campus. So if you're ever sick, you just walk in, they'll see you. There's a doctor on staff. Recreation centers, if you want to work out, play games, get involved in intramural sports. Tutoring center for students that English is a second language. There is a graduate writing center, but there's also a specific tutoring center. I would say mostly it's for international students, so you can feel comfortable. Most of the tutors that are in there are graduate students that are working in the field of TESOL, so teaching English to speakers of other languages. So I think that's really helpful. Not a lot of schools have that. We do, so that makes it awesome.
And regarding the health insurance, I would recommend that everybody should have one, because if you don't have one, then it's going to be very expensive for you guys. Yeah. And sometimes some of those, you know, who get it then back in India, even those ones also works. And once when you come here, it would be just $285. So that is also, it's not that expensive, I would say.
Yeah, actually, our health insurance on campus is really, really affordable, and it's for the entire academic year. So it'll take you from August till, I believe, the end of July, end of June or end of July, end of the summer classes. I highly recommend that. You never know what's going to happen. Anything that's an accident is an accident. We don't expect it, so that's what insurance is for.
Yeah.
Also, something else along the lines of insurance. That's good.
because without that, if they get sick or anything, then it's gonna be very
Yeah.
expensive. But normally, I hope nobody gets sick. And
Yeah.
but if in case if anybody does, then they really have to go to the doctor.
Oh yeah, I know another question. I get a lot of questions from students from India asking about vaccinations. Are any vaccinations required? While the university does not require specific vaccinations, I highly recommend you check with a healthcare professional back in your home country to see what they recommend. Because I know personally, I can't recommend them to you, but I know that there are vaccinations that I think that it would be good for you to get before you come here. But I would prefer you to check with your health professional. That way they can give you better guidance because I am not a doctor yet. Anyways, I think we covered those things. Do you have any more recommendations?
I don't know, just keep the I-20 handy.
Yeah. Send me an email. I'm your lifeline.
And make sure if you guys coming here, then you inform us, especially here. So
please.
We would be able to prepare everything for you, and we would expect. And those who want to stay and welcome us at least for a couple of days, make sure you reserve a spot because once when everybody gets here, those houses if they become full, then you won't have that much, you won't have much options after.
This is something I want to recommend. Actually, this year is a little bit different than past years. I do not recommend arriving before the 6th of August. The reason for that is the space in the welcome houses will be very, very limited before then. So to ensure that we can accommodate you, it would be best to arrive by the 6th of August or later. And like I said, our shuttle service doesn't begin until the 11th, so even the 11th, 12th, and 13th is fine, but still getting rested. We'll work with you. If you have questions, send me an email. I'll give you my recommendation, and I think we'll go from there. All right. This is us. I think we're going to peace out, guys. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Bye.